Wonder Woman 23.1, aka Cheetah, written by John Ostrander, art by Victor Ibanez. So it's a pretty generic Cheetah story here. Not quite her origin, but something to it. We open up in Louisiana. Blackgate Prison has just been let out. Everyone's escaped, including Cheetah, and she makes her way through the bayou and starts attacking all the prison guards that are trying to track her down again. And one of them, as she knocks it down, she literally tears out his heart and says, "Oh, I dedicate this kill to thee, O goddess of the hunt." Takes a big bite out of it, and then gets a call from the secret society saying, "Hey, Cheetah, where you at? You on your way?" She's like, "Yeah. I just gotta do a personal thing first, and then I'll be right on my way." So we cut to the emergency command center, who's basically the police that are now dealing with the fact that they had a massive prison break in Louisiana. And we see this Agent Mark Shaw, is now in charge of going down and tracking down Cheetah. And they say, yeah, no, she's got a dad who abandoned her, like up in Chicago. I don't think you really need to check on that. However, the aunt that she grew up with is located in the area, so probably best you start there. And she's got like a cult going on in Idaho, so yeah, check that out. So Mark Shaw is now a manhunter, and for those of you who know anything about Mark Shaw and or Manhunter, that was a surprise in this book, I'll tell you that at least. So then we see, in another place and another time, Barbara Minerva, who is of course Cheetah's real identity, is walking through the Argus Black Room with Wonder Woman and says, "Oh man, Wonder Woman, I'm so happy you're my friend." She's like, "I'm happy you're my friend too, Barbara." And she's like, "Hey, check out this sweet knife. It's called the God Slayer, and it's like you, because you Amazons are goddesses, right? And you worship the goddess of the hunt." And Wonder Woman just laughs and says, "Oh, you stupid bitch. No, none of that is true. We're not goddesses. We're mortal people, and we don't worship the god of the hunt. We worship all the gods. God, where did you get your stupid information from?" And so Cheetah starts getting super angry. She pulls out the knife and stabs it into Wonder Woman's chest, and just like, "No, you're wrong. I've been trained in the way of the Amazons longer than you have. I deserve this, and now you will be a true avatar of the goddess of the hunt. You're welcome." And so we see Wonder Woman transform into this deer/cheetah thing, and she gets up and just be like, "I will eat your heart." And then all of a sudden Cheetah wakes up. Of course it was all a dream. She's on a train making her way to Idaho, and she busts out of the side of the train car and goes on her own. So meanwhile, Mark Shaw arrives at this fenced off place called Amazonia. There's a girl with a gun standing outside. And she's just like, "Oh, better turn back the way you came." And she's like, "Actually, I'm a U.S. Marshal, and if you put that rifle up any higher, I will shoot you between your eyes. So here's what's going to happen. I just need to talk to the lady running this place because I got information she might want to know." So she gets into Amazonia, or Shaw gets into Amazonia, and is led around by Aunt, I think it's Lytle, I believe. I could be wrong on that. We get back to it. Turns out she runs this religious quote-unquote school, which is actually religious towards the Greek goddess of the hunt, and they run this place as essentially an Amazon light sort of cult going on, because they've all got guns and stuff too, so it's not all about that. And she says, "Yeah, no, I train girls here. They go out into the world and they continue with their hunt. And it's not just animals and stuff. It's like hunt for success, hunt for being great. But like, it's still, they're determined. They are militaristic." And Mark basically says, "Yeah, okay. Anyway, Cheetah's on the way. Have you seen her? Do you know where she might be?" And just like, no, I haven't talked to her in a while, but what was the last you heard of her?" She's like, "Well, we just got news as I was driving in here that she went up and killed her deadbeat dad. So that's a thing." It's like, "Oh, well, that was well overdue." And she says, "Okay, well, Barbara also has a brother and a mother. Have you heard from them at all recently?" And she's like, "No, we kind of left off on bad terms." And it turns out that the brother was also welcome to train in Amazonia. And there was a final task that Barbara and her brother had to go through. And that was Hunger Games. They fight each other out in the woods, hunting each other until one of them dies. And the mother is freaking out, just like, "Oh, this is inhumane. This is cruel. These are my children. How could you do this?" And just like, "Pshaw, this is," and the woman's name is Lyta, by the way. It's like, "This is their final task. Only the strong will inherit the earth. So we see them out in the woods, and Barbara sets up a trap that her brother falls for, and so she's able to shoot her brother in the back. And she's like, "Oh yes, I have succeeded. I have killed my brother. What now, Aunt Lyta?" And Lyta's like, "Great, go out into the world and find the God Slayer, the knife that will be able to please the goddess of the hunt." And she's like, "Will do." And then a couple years pass, and she comes back, and she's like, "Hey, I got the knife." It's like, "Great, plunge it into your chest." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "Yep, that's what the goddess of the hunt wants. That's how you'll become an avatar. You are worthy. Do it." And so she stabs herself in the chest and becomes Cheetah. And Mark Shaw's like, "Okay, that's all weird and crazy, but also not the reason I just want to know where Cheetah is. That's literally the only thing I care about here. Also, you guys are like super crazy." And at that point, she basically says like, "Well, you should drop your weapon because you're surrounded." And turns out the Amazonians are like, "Yeah, we're going to hunt you now." And Lyta steps up and she's like, "You will be my hunt. Start running. You get like a 5-minute head start." So he runs out into the woods. Lyta gives chase. He actually puts up a pretty good fight. He hides pretty well from her, but he does end up taking an arrow like straight to the chest and is taken down. And Lyta's like, "Oh, you were good, but you weren't good enough to stop me." And as she pulls back the bow, Cheetah jumps out and attacks Lyta. And Lyta's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hold on. You can't kill him. He's my killing." He's like, "Oh, I wasn't hunting him. I was hunting you." So at that point, she pulls out the Godslayer knife and is just like, "Why would you come after me? I could attack you with this knife and take away your powers right now. Those are the rules." And she's like, "No, if I kill you, you're the last link in the world to Barbara Minerva. Once you're dead, I can be Cheetah and Cheetah alone." And so she attacks Lyta, doesn't get stabbed by the knife, rips out her heart and says, "Oh, goddess of the hunt, this is for you, and now I'm done with you. Cheetah is working alone." So Mark Shaw stands up, has the Godslayer knife, and is like, "Hey, Cheetah, you're under arrest." And she's like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever." So at that point, the Secret Society gets their teleporter to show up, being like, "Cheetah, you're supposed to be meeting up with us like a day ago. What's going on, man?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing. You can take me now." And says, "Well, Mark Shaw, see you around." And she's like, "Oh, I will hunt you, Cheetah." And it's like, "Yeah, that's kind of the theme of the book now, isn't it?" And she teleports out. And so Mark Shaw's left standing there with a Godslayer knife saying, "Yes, it's a promise. I will hunt you down, Cheetah." So we got ourselves a manhunter. He's got himself a magic knife. Cheetah is, of course, a part of the Secret Society and doing stuff there. I mean, it's a good book. It's perfectly fine. I feel like it may contradict some stuff that I remember from Justice League. I think that was issue like 18 or so, but I can't be bothered to go back and check. So I'm going to go ahead and assume it's all perfectly in line, and I enjoyed it. Art was good as well. I don't really have any issue with it. My only real critique is just the unbelievability of Cheetah was raised as an Amazon and then just happened to befriend Wonder Woman when she arrived in man's world. Like, that's just a bit much for me, but comics are always filled with these little conveniences. So yeah, I'll say I'll give it a 7.5. It's above average, it's good, but it doesn't quite strike the great category yet.